Now, you all know that I'm a huge advocate of good quality oral and dental health simply because it has negative implications across your entire body when things go sideways. This article in Newsmax Health actually outlines just that, how oral health may affect your heart, your brain, and your risk of death. Pretty scary stuff. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit and smash that like button, and also comment your thoughts in the comments below. And also, if you want to help me get this message out, the message of natural news, natural health news to many of your family and friends, share it and ask them to subscribe so that we can help spread the word. I'd greatly appreciate that. Let's dive in. Okay, so on this article, it starts off by saying dental cavities could significantly increase your risk of a life-threatening stroke from bleeding in the brain, according to new research. This is scary stuff. Now, as I mentioned before, we have to be very careful with our dental health because, look, I don't ever like going to the dentist. I typically feel worse after I go there. I go there for a cleaning and my teeth hurt for 2 days. But the fact is that, if things get out of control in our dental health, it can affect everything. It can affect your thyroid. It can affect your brain. I mean, it's scary stuff. So we have to take it very seriously. Past studies have shown a link between gum infection and stroke, but few studies have looked into what role dental cavities might play. In the new study, researchers looked specifically at cavities and intracerebral stroke, which occur when an artery in the brain bursts, flooding the surrounding tissue with blood. That's pretty scary stuff. Researchers looked at the data from 6,506 people without a stroke and then followed them for 30 years. In the first 15 years, those who developed cavities had a slightly higher risk for stroke from brain bleed, but their risk shot up dramatically in the next 15. In the second half of the study, people with cavities had a 4.5 times higher risk of stroke from brain bleed than those without cavities after adjusting for age, gender, race, and high blood pressure. Now, there's a couple practical thoughts I want to put together here, and then, of course, I want to talk some natural ways to improve your dental health. Practical thoughts are this, okay? It's very interesting because when we look at the research behind Weston Price and what he did, when he went to different tribes that weren't eating sugar and weren't eating like people in the modern world were, they had beautiful teeth, even at a very old age, whereas people in the modern world had so much deterioration and degeneration in their teeth because they're consuming so much sugar. Now, this is very interesting because when we put this together, and once again, we look at this tangled web of like root causes, right? We know that a bacteria called strep mutans actually goes in and causes these cavities within the teeth. However, it's highly fed by consuming sugar. Now, when we look at this brain issue, stroke in the brain, I want to take it a step further because there's something called type 3 diabetes, and it's looked at as basically a dementia / Alzheimer's in the brain and a vascular breakdown due to the overconsumption of sugar. What they found is that there's a study where they found that 60% of people who have type 2 diabetes also are likely to develop Alzheimer's and dementia and these vascular issues in the brain as well. So as we look at this, you go, was it the sugar that not only caused the cavity, but also caused the brain issues, the higher likelihood of having a stroke and a vascular breakdown in the brain, or was it just the cavity alone that caused it? And that's the million-dollar question. So what I would really say here, if you're serious about your brain health and your oral health, first of all, you got to get rid of the sugar, okay? And you got to make sure that you're not falling into that category of pre-diabetes, because they found that even people who have pre-diabetes, you don't even have to have type 2 diabetes, just pre-diabetes, and you're more likely to have these vascular issues in the brain. Now, we're not only going to help our brain health if we cut the sugar, but we're also going to help our dental health. Now, let's talk about a few things that you can do. First of all, I'd recommend that you go to Dr. Z TV and watch a full interview that I did with Dr. Blodgett. He's one of the #1 most progressive, cutting-edge dentists in the country when it comes to natural dentistry. Okay, he's over in Portland, Oregon. So if you go to Dr. Z, www.drz drz.tv. You can find that interview, and I'd highly recommend, if you care about your oral health, you watch that interview with him. But there's a couple things that I want to give you that you can leave with today on how you can improve your oral health. One of them is chewing gum and chewing xylitol gum. Okay, so xylitol has actually been shown to kill those bad bacteria in your mouth that leads to tooth decay and cavities. So chewing a xylitol gum is incredibly good to do. In fact, one of my children had a cavity, and we take our kids, and of course I go myself, to a natural holistic dentist. And what they told my kids to do is start chewing more gum. And so that's something that I use, because I've actually heard a PhD talk about this, where she went to the dentist, she had cavities, and then she started chewing a ton of xylitol gum, and next time she went to the dentist, the cavity was gone, and the dentist was blown away, because he's like, I've never seen this in my life, where the tooth was like restored. So pretty interesting. So chewing xylitol gum, so no sugar in the gum, but just sweetened with xylitol. Next is doing some coconut oil pulling. Okay, so you get some coconut oil, put some on a spoon, you swish it in your mouth for about 5 minutes, and then you spit it back out. That has been shown to really not only improve gum health, but also it kills off some of those strep mutants, because coconut oil is a natural antibacterial. Very gentle, of course, but natural as well. And then lastly, just xylitol in general. Okay, so if it's xylitol gum, if you use xylitol, maybe your drink to sweeten it, xylitol has been shown to improve oral health. That's why a lot of new toothpaste on the market are actually sweetened with xylitol, typically kids' toothpaste. But even adult toothpaste, just because they found that it actually has a really positive impact on your dental health, they'll put xylitol in it as well. So those are some things I want to leave you with. But as I mentioned, I'll put the link in the description below to the Dr. Z TV. I really would recommend you go there and you watch that interview, because the guy's a wealth of knowledge, and not all of us have access to a good natural dentist. But in that video, we give tons of resources, and that's how you can take your first step in improving your dental health.